How's it going, beautiful people? How y'all doing today? What's happening? You know, as I began to look into this R. Kelly smear campaign, 'cause that's basically what it's been. Being an artist myself and, a genuine student of the game, like a student of the music industry, I quickly noticed what this really was and what it was not about, you know. This is just another example of a black man in America being cheated out of his generational wealth thanks to the powerful and extremely effective collaboration between the United States federal government and corporate America. In this case, the corporate entities are indeed Sony Entertainment, allegedly, Universal Music Group, allegedly, Lifetime, allegedly, who's owned by A&E, and A&E who's owned by the two conglomerates, Walt Disney and the newspaper tycoon, the Hearst Corporation, allegedly. And I asked myself, right, how does this alliance manage to charge an R&B artist with racketeering, saying he's running a criminal enterprise? How do they do that? Well, when you use puppets like State's Attorney Kim Foxx, who solicited accusers, we all know that, by holding a press conference, setting up a hotline number for any and everyone to call when she didn't have reasonable indication, and the only probable cause she had was a one-sided bias docuseries that was produced to program the public's mind for 3 nights straight. 3 nights straight. Kim Foxx and well-known media tools / attorneys / ambulance chasers, Michael Avenatti, who's now a convicted criminal himself, and Gloria Allred, right? Both of them held press conferences as well. I mean, press conference after press conference, full of nothing but prosecutorial misconduct, damn near making it impossible for R. Kelly to have a fair trial, because they was programming the people, right, to look at R. Kelly as a guilty man, when in fact, as we know, all citizens should be presumed innocent until proven guilty, right? According to the United States Constitution. But as we know, not all laws of the land are a privilege for certain skin colors. It's like two different worlds, two different judicial systems. I mean, for example, let's just take it back to the Hearst Corporation for a moment here, and let's just all reminisce, I should say, and, well, at least those that was alive during the time. Some of us might not know, so let us all get informed right now, okay? But the Hearst Corporation, and let's talk about Patty Hearst. Patty Hearst was kidnapped in 1974 by the Symbionese Liberation Army, right? She was found and arrested 19 months later after she was abducted, because by that time, she was a fugitive, wanted for serious crimes committed with members of that group. At the trial, the prosecution suggested that Patty Hearst joined the Liberation Army of her own volition. She testified that she had been raped and threatened with death while held captive. But of course, that was just what she said under oath in court. So in 1976, she was convicted. She was convicted for the crime of bank robbery. And they sentenced her to 35 years in prison. That 35-year sentence was later reduced to 7 years. Then, her sentence was commuted by President Jimmy Carter. To those that don't know, commuted just basically means he reduced the sentence. Either he can reduce it totally or partially, and label it as time served. Okay, that's basically what that means. So not only was her sentence commuted, and she didn't do the whole 7 years, or the requirement of what she had to do. Okay, then she was later pardoned by President Clinton. Now, y'all might be saying, well, what's your point? My point is that this is a conglomerate newspaper corporation and a granddaughter of the Hearst Corporation's founder was arrested and convicted for running with a liberation army that she tried to claim. She claimed that she was kidnapped, but there's other suggestions that suggest she was not kidnapped and she joined them and became pretty much a rebel, okay, and did some serious crimes. Today she's an author, actress, very popular. It's almost like when President Clinton pardoned her, well, it's not almost like, that is what it is. He basically wiped the slate clean. He wiped everything clean, okay? That's called privilege. That's called privilege. And this is the family, the Hearst Corporation, who owns A&E. I mean, the major newspaper tycoon. They pretty much own just about most newspapers across the country, okay? This company owns most of the newspapers. A lot of the media, most of the media, period. This is a major conglomerate. They've been doing this since the 1800s, buying up all the newspapers across the land. Okay? And this is what I'm talking about. It's like so much privilege that we don't get to see a lot of times. Another example, CNN recently. They reinstated Jeffrey Toobin. They reinstated this man after he was caught masturbating on a Zoom call. CNN, the same CNN that had Michael Avenatti, a convicted criminal, on their program over 100 times. Okay? The women on The View, they don't have a problem with it. They don't have a problem with it. In fact, a lot of people don't have a problem with it. It's all good. He just gets his job back. I mean, I think he was forced to take like 8 months off. And now he's returning to CNN, and he's remaining in his chief legal analyst position. But meanwhile, you got this cancel culture. Always so quick to... It's like everybody always so quick to have an opinion. You say one little thing, or matter of fact, it could be something you said 35 years ago. And here comes the cancel culture. Ready to basically take everything away from you that you worked so hard for. But not this guy. Not Chris Cuomo. You know? But this is the type of things we got to look at. I mean, for example, not for example, but for God's sake, R. Kelly and his indictment, they're trying to say he didn't tell the women about a sexually transmitted disease. But Charlie Sheen came on national television and said that he gave women HIV, AIDS, He said it out his own mouth. This is not alleged. He said it. And they haven't done as much as take a lunch break from the man. Still keeps all his money. No charges was filed against him. No nothing. And let's not forget all the people, even the convicted criminals that got out for COVID and that are still out for COVID. You know. But meanwhile, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, that wasn't the same case. Okay. So we got to look at these things. We got to look at how the judicial system, it's lacking balance, as we all know. We've been knowing this since they brought us to this country. But what really, disturbs me a little bit is when I hear other black folks saying that black folks need to learn how to take accountability. The way I see it, humanity needs to learn how to take accountability. But at the same time, it's been so much done to blacks and minorities. And yet you see these situations like this where people aren't getting charged. They're getting their position back. Where is the Me Too movement for this? Where is the cancel culture? Where is mute R. Kelly? Why are they not concerned about this? But yet they want to stop R. Kelly from making money when he hadn't even been charged of any crime yet. It's just, it's ridiculous, And then I ask myself, how can you have a man like R. Kelly, right, that has built so many relationships with other artists in the industry over the past 30 years, hit record after hit record for himself, for other artists, and no artists be coming to his defense? At least, like I said, because we don't know if he's innocent or guilty. He hasn't been to trial yet. And I'm not trying to be hypocritical. But what I'm saying is, no artist has came to his defense and pointed out the injustice of the situation. Because that's something, like I've been saying, that we all can see. We all can see the injustice of a man who is sitting in federal custody. He's being sued by a studio. His attorney in the situation resigns from helping R. Kelly fight this case. R. Kelly doesn't know about it in time, so he gets a judgment on him. Over $3 million for a studio that's probably not even worth that much money. And then on top of that, he's got another judgment that was sent, that was put on him. All for an allegation. Allegations. And they're just putting judgments on this man. And not to mention, they knew he was in federal custody, but they still put out a bench warrant for his arrest in Minnesota. I mean, just things like that. Stopping the man from being able to make money. I mean, just injustice like that. No criminal record. All allegations. Went to trial in 2008, was acquitted. But just because they're saying it's federal now, that means they're saying it's not double jeopardy. Like I said, you can make it federal, you can say it's state, you can change the name of the charge, it's double jeopardy. He's going through double jeopardy right now. That's the reality of it. Now, on paper, I guess not. I guess not. But what can make these artists not come to this man's defense and unite and stand up as one? Not only against the injustice that the federal government is doing against them, but of course, the music industry itself, corporate America. Why is nobody speaking out? Well, I'll tell you why. It says, the enterprise. The defendant, Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as R. Kelly, and individuals who served as managers, bodyguards, drivers, personal assistants, and runners for Kelly, as well as members of Kelly's entourage, comprised an enterprise, the enterprise, within the meanings of Title 18 USC 1961. That is, the enterprise constituted a group of individuals associated in fact that was engaged in and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce. The enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members functioned as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the enterprise. The purpose of the enterprise were to promote R. Kelly's music and R. Kelly's brand, and to recruit women and girls to engage in illegal sexual activity with Kelly. By promoting R. Kelly's music and R. Kelly's brand, the members of the enterprise expected to receive financial opportunities and personal benefits, including increased power and status within the enterprise. In connection with the enterprise, Kelly and other members of the enterprise traveled throughout the United States and abroad to perform at concert venues to promote the R. Kelly brand and to recruit women and girls to engage in illegal sexual activity with Kelly. Oh, boy. Well, it's like this, right? It clearly says, right, the purpose of the enterprise was to promote Kelly's music and brand. And it says, and to recruit women and girls to engage in illegal sexual activity with Kelly, right? However, it says right under that members of the enterprise expected to receive financial opportunities and personal benefits, including increased power and status, by promoting R. Kelly's music and R. Kelly's brand only. That's all it says. It doesn't say that they increased power within the enterprise for bringing him girls or bringing him little kids. It doesn't say that. And if they work to help R. Kelly, if they're supposed to be working for R. Kelly, that's what they're supposed to do. Am I wrong? I mean, help me understand this. Are they not supposed to promote R. Kelly's music and brand? I'm confused. And they're saying what? That the only reason why they did that was so that he can get girls and women for sex? Not so that he can feed his family. Not so that he can make a living. Not because that's just his passion. Not because he had obligations, business obligations with major labels like Sony Entertainment, RCA, who's owned by Sony, and Jive Records, who was bought by Sony. I mean, I don't understand. Does he not have business obligations? Are they not promoting R. Kelly's music and brand? Because you would think that these labels like Sony Entertainment that he's under, nobody's promoting R. Kelly's music and brand more than them. But they're nowhere near in this indictment. They're nowhere in the indictment. I wonder why. I wonder why. It also says, in connection with the enterprise, Kelly and members traveled throughout the United States and abroad to perform at concert venues to promote R. Kelly's brand and to recruit women and girls to engage in illegal sexual activity with Kelly. Well, the way I see that, they say he's been doing this for 30 years. They got to go back 30 years and get every venue that he's ever performed at and bring them in as witnesses. They got to subpoena every venue. Because the way I see it, how are they not a part of the enterprise? It's like if you look at it like R. Kelly, let's say if he was selling drugs, if he was a drug dealer, and he was going from state to state selling drugs, and he would show up at each trap house, state to state, state to state. He gets caught doing that. Are those trap houses not involved with the conspiracy? I'm asking. Are they not involved with the conspiracy? Is Sony Entertainment not involved with the conspiracy? If his music and his brand, let's say his music and his brand is the drugs, right? The women and girls is the customers, the addicts, let's say. We're just speaking in metaphors here. Is Sony Entertainment not considered the supplier? I don't understand how they can say that R. Kelly is running an enterprise that he wasn't even the boss of. It doesn't make sense. And as far as women backstage and giving them wristbands and all that, just about, I'll say just about, not every, but just about every musician in the industry could be facing these charges. Every artist in the industry has managers, bodyguards, runners. I mean, what are they saying here? Every artist in the industry have women coming to their shows. They're throwing after parties. They're giving women wristbands to come backstage. I mean, I don't understand. What are they saying? So maybe that's why these other artists aren't speaking up. Because if they do speak up, the federal government can just throw the same racketeering criminal indictment on them. It just doesn't make sense what they trying to charge this man with. And as far as the counts, right? I noticed count 1, right, is the racketeering. Like I've been saying, that's what they want. That's what this is about. They don't care about nothing else. They want the racketeering. Count 1, right? Well, I noticed that count 2, count 3, count 4, and count 5, it seems to me, I could be wrong, I don't know, but it seems to me that those same charges are already a part of count 1. You see what I'm saying? Because if you really look at it, if you look at Act 9 in count 1, which is the Mann Act, it says on May 18th, 2017, he's getting charged for transportation and coercion and enticement, right? And then if you look at Racketeering Act 10, no, I'm sorry, not Act 10, Act 11. I'm sorry. Racketeering Act 11. Once again, he's being charged Mann Act on February 2nd, 2018 for transportation and coercion and enticement. Then count 2 is Mann Act, transportation, May 18th, 2017. Count 3, Mann Act, coercion and enticement on May 18th, 2017. Count 4, Mann Act, transportation on February 2nd, 2018. And count 5, Mann Act, coercion and enticement, February 2nd, 2018. Are those not the same charge? Is he not being charged twice? I'm confused. It seems to me that these charges are already in count 1. And wouldn't that require them to be dismissed? I don't know. I'm just asking. I mean, this whole indictment, it just sounds ridiculous, you know. Furthermore, it says, when Kelly attended and performed at concerts and other events, Kelly and or members of the enterprise on Kelly's behalf invited women and girls backstage and to other events following Kelly's live performances. That's not a crime. These women and girls were often offered wristbands that signified that they were authorized to attend an event. There, Kelly relied upon members of the enterprise to ensure that only those authorized to attend were allowed at the event and to manage the flow of women and girls who were directly interacting with Kelly. Those are not crimes. As we all know, these musicians, especially an artist of R. Kelly's caliber, someone who's been on top of R&B for 30 years, they have plenty of women. I mean, thousands of women trying to get to them daily. That's not a crime. When Kelly identified a woman or girl who he wished to see again, he either gave his contact information to the woman or girl, or obtained her contact information, or relied upon members of the enterprise to do so. Following these events, Kelly communicated with certain of these women and girls by telephone, including through the use of traditional telephone calls, text messages, iMessages, and FaceTime. As part of this communication, Kelly often requested that the women and girls provide him with photographs of themselves. These are not crimes. I'm not hearing no crime here. Kelly and the members of the enterprise also arranged for the women and girls to travel to see Kelly on occasion, including at concerts throughout the United States and related events. To facilitate their travel, Kelly directed the women and girls to contact a member of the enterprise, who then arranged travel for the women and girls. When the women and girls arrived at the lodge-in, which was typically selected by a member of the enterprise, members of the enterprise took steps to ensure that the women and girls did not interact with other women and girls whom Kelly planned to see. No crimes. Members of the enterprise then arranged for the women and girls to attend his concert and position them such that Kelly could see them during his concerts. What's wrong with that? If these women want to come see R. Kelly, what is wrong with that? Coming to see him in a concert and he arranges for them to come see him perform. Where's the crime at, everybody? Please tell me. A. The women and girls were not permitted to leave their room without receiving permission from Kelly, including to eat or go to the bathroom. Well, we have to see if that's being missaid here. Was it that they couldn't leave at all, or else it would be, or what? What are they saying? If they left, what? Then they wouldn't be able to come back, or are they saying that they didn't have a choice in the matter? They was locked in the room. I mean, what are they really saying? Because I don't see how they can prove that they could not leave the room if they wanted to. It just sounds ridiculous. It really does. It really sounds ridiculous here. Let's see. It says this is crazy. And as far as eating, right? Are they saying that if they had money to buy themselves something to eat, they weren't allowed to? Or are they saying that they didn't have any money, so they was waiting for R. Kelly to buy some food? Okay, which means they gotta eat around his schedule, I'm guessing. I mean, when you talk about a musician and a star, like I said, the caliber of R. Kelly, you're talking about obviously somebody that's very, very busy. Okay, and these women, in my opinion, I believe that they had choices in the matter. It's not. I don't think that they didn't have choices. This is all choices that they made. Okay, they chose to come and live this lifestyle with a celebrity, and like we all know, when they was ready to go, they left. It's that simple. It's that simple. But I'm still not seeing crimes here. I'm not seeing anything so far that would make me say, "Oh my God, R. Kelly is the worst human being ever, and he needs to be locked up in prison for the rest of his life." And in that way, we don't have to give him his masters back that he's worked so hard for, and he's made us so much money over the past 30 years. We don't have to give him that now because he's a monster. See, I haven't seen that yet. Not at all. Then it says, here's a good one. The women and girls were required to wear back. Oh, hold on. Before I go there, right? It says the women and girls were permitted to leave. They weren't permitted to leave their room, right? And then it says they had to ask for permission to go to the bathroom. So let me get this straight. There's a bathroom in the hotel room, and they can't get up off the bed or out the chair, wherever they're sitting, and walk to the bathroom and use it. They gotta wait to get permit. They gotta find a way to call R. Kelly or something, or get permission to go walk to the bathroom, a couple feet to the bathroom. Is this what they're really saying, or are they saying what? when they was at his home or something, they had to get permission to walk around this man's house. Because I know I wouldn't want people, just walking around my house, that I don't know like that. Especially if I'm a valuable celebrity, But that's just me, though. But yeah, then it says the women and girls were required to wear baggy clothing when they were not accompanying Kelly to an event or unless otherwise instructed by Kelly. That's just dumb. I mean, whoever wrote this up, put this indictment together, man. It's just ridiculous. It's really silly when you start listening to it. When you really start reading it and start just like reading it word for word, it is silly that this man has been locked up in federal custody for 2 years and he's on the verge of facing the rest of his life in prison for this document that somebody put together. I mean, it's just ridiculous, everybody. It really is. The women and girls were not permitted to look at other men and instead were told to keep their heads down. If that's what they're willing to accept, then that's what they're willing to accept. But that is not a crime. There's no crime there, okay? There's no crime there. The women and girls were required to call Kelly daddy. That's definitely not a crime. Just about most men, like being called that. I mean, it's just little petty stuff like this, man, where it's like, come on, man. Is this the best that they can do? This is the best they can do. This is the infamous indictment that's supposed to get R. Kelly locked up for the rest of his life, and everything he's worked hard for is supposed to be taken away from him because of this indictment. I mean, I think Homeland Security, man, they need to stick to doing what they know best, man. Cause coming after celebrities like this for this type of behavior, this is not this ain't for them. And that's just my opinion. It ain't for them, man. It really isn't. The enterprise operated within the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere, including overseas. Methods and means of the enterprise. Among the means and methods by which Kelly and his associates participated in the conduct of affairs of the enterprise were the following. A. Committing, attempting, and aiding and abetting the commission of crimes, conspiring to commit crimes, including but not limited to engaging in sexual activity with girls under 18 years old, engaging in and facilitating sexual activity without disclosing a sexually transmitted disease Kelly had contracted, and producing child pornography. All right. Demanding absolute commitment to Kelly and not tolerating dissent. Well, I want absolute commitment to me as well. I mean, who doesn't want absolute commitment to them? If you're in a relationship with somebody, of course you're going to want absolute commitment. Like that, unless you're into that type of thing, unless you're into open relationships and swinging and all that. I mean, that's just what it is, Let's see. Now this is what I can't understand. Obtaining sensitive information about members and associates of the enterprise to maintain control over them. Well, they're going to have to prove that. Recruiting and grooming sexual partners for Kelly and isolating women and girls from friends and family and making them dependent on Kelly for their financial well-being. Now, was he making them dependent or were they becoming dependent? Did they become dependent? You see what I'm saying? Or was he making them dependent? See, that's the type of questions that need to be asked, because to me, it's not far-fetched to think, if these women are dating R. Kelly, who's one of the biggest celebrities of all time and definitely the top dog in R&B, most likely they came to the situation with nothing to bring to the table. At least nothing as far as financially. You see what I'm saying? And they expected everything to be handled for them. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it's starting to sound like, man. Just based on me reading this indictment, it sounds like these were women that came to a situation with nothing financially wise, and they expected everything to be handed to them. That's what it seems like to me, But I could be wrong, The defendant, Robert S. Kelly, was the leader of the enterprise. So when you, like I said, reading that, man, it just seems silly to me, man. It seems like it seems like an immature indictment. It doesn't seem like there was much going on there that they can prove, man. That's just my opinion. Now I know that they probably gonna have a lot of people, a lot of disgruntled employees, ready to make up claims and ready to try to paint these little pictures like R. Kelly was the worst person in the world. But me personally, everybody, I ain't buying it, man. I don't believe it. I don't think it's true. I think that this is all about this man's masters, this man's generational wealth, and this is all about the music industry, corporate America, trying to basically take everything from this man and leave him with nothing. That's just my opinion. And you know, the federal government are co-conspiring against this man. That's just how I see it. Now, certain people, right, have been saying that YouTube bloggers are the reason why he got a sequestered jury, right? Well, I don't agree with that at all. Okay, that's because you know, jury sequestered, right, is the isolation of a jury to avoid accidental or deliberate tainting of the jury by exposing them to outside influence or information that is not admissible in court, right? Jurors are usually and not allowed, jurors are usually housed at hotels, not allowed to read the newspapers, watch television, or access the internet, and may have limited contact with others, even each other. Okay? It's usually used in high-profile cases with that have a lot of media coverage and you know, a lot of public conversation behind them. You know, and other trials of late. You know, high-profile trials that have had sequestered juries. As we know, the O.J. Simpson trial in '95, the George Zimmerman trial, Bill Cosby trial. All those trials had sequestered juries. And it's kind of like it can kind of be a good thing or a bad thing. You got to flip the coin. My thing is, we don't necessarily want the jurors to be influenced by the media and stuff like that. But my thing is, though, is it too late? That's why they did so much damage. The media did so much damage on R. Kelly already that it's going to be hard to find, in my opinion, some jurors that have not seen some coverage on this situation already, or that did not see Surviving R. Kelly. You know, now if that wasn't the case, then that could work in our favor as well, and in R. Kelly's favor, I should say, because this is his life. Let me not say our favor. I mean, I know all our favor, but however, you know, at the moment, this is R. Kelly's life. So it could work in his favor because the media is definitely going to, they're not done. They're going to continue to be talking about the case and putting their spin on it and talking as if R. Kelly is the worst monster in the world. So yeah, if the jurors are sequestered and not allowed to watch television or not allowed to get on the internet and stuff like that, that's a good thing. It really is. The problem is, though, it may be too late because the damage has already been done, everybody. So when you hear them say the internet is the reason, I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that. Usually high-profile cases like this with media frenzies is automatically the jury is going to get sequestered, most likely. But on that note, man, I'm gonna keep on shouting, right, for these fellow artists to step up and try to stand for something, man. Try to stand for something. Try to bring about change, bring about revolution, bring about you know, a better way, man. Because the way they're doing this with R. Kelly, it wouldn't be nothing for them to grab up any other artist and try to say that when they was doing their tours back in the 90s, they was running a criminal enterprise up until 2021 or whatever the case may be. It won't be nothing for them to do it. If they pull this off with R. Kelly, I don't see why they wouldn't try to pull it off with just about every other artist whenever they need to, you know. And that's what I'm scared of, everybody. But I want to do a suggestion, right? This goes out to all the other fellow bloggers, and all the subscribers, and just all the people that support R. Kelly in general. You know what I'm saying? Not too long ago, I did my top 10 R. Kelly, like a playlist of R. Kelly's top 10, right? That I thought was his top 10 at the time that I was doing that list. And I think everybody, we should try, because I think it would be a good idea to try to get this man's music back circulating. You know what I'm saying? Get people talking about this man's music. Everybody make your own playlist, your own top 10 or top 20, whatever you want to do, of R. Kelly. And let's just, everybody just share everybody's playlist. You know what I'm saying? Just share it everywhere, you know, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Just share them all over the place. If everybody does their own top 10 of this man's music and everybody shares everybody's playlist, and, you know, and I think it'd just be cool, you know what I'm saying, just seeing everybody's opinion on the situation, on what they think is his top 10 songs. I know it's hard to do because he got so many classic songs, man, and I probably am going to do a new top 10 myself. But I think that'll be a good idea, man. I really do. On that note, now we know that indictment is a bunch of crap, it's silly, and it's really immature. It's a real immature document. It's childish in a way, and they don't have no good case at all. They really don't. It ain't really much they can prove. The tapes that they claim they got, I'm pretty sure those tapes have been compromised. And it seems like the same tapes from the old trial. This is gonna be this should be an easy case to defend. Now, the only problem is they have gotten the public against him so much. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they was able to get Bill Cosby. They turned the public against him, and that's why they was able to pretty much just do what they want. You know what I mean? Change laws, all types of shit. So that's the only thing I worry about, because to me, when the machine is up against you like that, they have the power to pretty much do what they want, and they can depend on the public to not say nothing, because they already got the public, for the majority, thinking that R. Kelly is a monster. They already programmed the public. You see what I'm saying? So they wouldn't expect no backlash from that if they was to just basically do whatever they want with this case. Well, with these cases, I should say. But we're going to keep prayer in it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep hoping for the best. On that note, I want to say God bless everybody. Wish everybody the best, man. No matter what you think, or no matter, no matter how you feel about the situation. It ain't, we all human beings, and we all are living this odyssey, man. Living in this odyssey called life. And we also try to enjoy it to the fullest. And time is too short to be worrying about the dumb shit, Time is way too precious to be worrying about stuff that don't even matter, man. And on that note, God bless everybody. Like, share, and subscribe. Donate to the channel. That'll be a blessing as well. And talk to you on the next one. Peace.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Whoa, yeah. What do we do when the DJ's playing our favorite groove? We stare and win the whole night through. And what do we do when we're all dressed up and in the mood? We stand to what a step us through. Where do we go soon as the weekend gets here? The club. Why? To party and have some fun. What is it that can come and take away all your stress? Tell me. Music. Other questions you have passed my test. Happy people. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Keeps the world. Yeah. Oh yeah, I believe that happy people. Yeah. Oh, yeah. keeps us all dancing. Whoa, happy people. Yeah.